If you're over 50 and can't sleep, this video is for you. You'll learn 5 all-natural sleep strategies that will help you sleep better as soon as tonight. I'm Pamela. I'm 58, and I'm on a mission to learn what are things I can do today that my future self will thank me for. Sometimes I'm interested in things that my 80-year-old self will thank me for. Other times, like sleeping better, I'm looking for things that my tomorrow self will thank me for. We all know lying in bed night after night with our brains spinning is not good for our health. You know you wake up tired, but most likely, even if you don't really realize it, you're sluggish, you might be a little bit grouchy, you might be a little bit difficult to work with. Maybe you just don't have the patience with other people that they actually deserve. Fun fact, nobody likes to be around a tired, cranky person. So hopefully in this video, you'll learn some strategies which will help you be a joy to all the people that you encounter tomorrow. Here's tip number 1. Pay attention to caffeine. Now, originally, I was going to name this tip don't have caffeine or eliminate caffeine. However, for many of us, that just seems like such a huge challenge that it will never happen. I love coffee. In fact, I love coffee so much that not only do I drink it every day at home, but when I travel, I even bring my own coffee with me. I drink the little Starbucks instant packs. I find they're the best instant coffee. And I actually have a little electric plug-in immersion heater. So I heat up the water in my hotel room, put in my instant coffee, stir it up, and it's exactly the same taste as the coffee is at home. So much better than the packets of hotel coffee and using that old kind of falling apart coffee maker that they have in most hotel rooms. If you want to see an example of that little immersion heater, go to the notes under this video and I actually put a link to where I bought it on Amazon, so you can check that out. As much as I love coffee, I have learned that too much caffeine later in the day will absolutely interrupt my sleep. I virtually never have a hard time falling asleep. My problem that I have is staying asleep. If I'm not careful and I have too much caffeine, I will find that I wake up at 2 a.m., 2:45, and lay there wide awake and can't get back to sleep. How much is too much, and how late in the day is too late in the day for you? For me, I try not to have any caffeine past like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, what that means is no iced tea at lunchtime, no Coke, no Diet Coke, no Mountain Dew, certainly no energy drinks. And I have learned that over years and years of experimenting. And I find the older I get, the more caffeine affects my body. Right now, I actually in the morning have half calf. So every time I'm refilling my coffee canister, I put in a bag of caffeinated coffee and a bag of decaf, kind of stir it all up. That way, when I'm scooping it out, either the night before or in the morning, it's already mixed up for me. I know that there are some coffee brands that actually sell half calf pre-mixed. If you are thinking that you want to try weaning yourself off of coffee, you might want to start off with half calf, or you might want to start off with maybe instead of having 2 cups of coffee in the morning, maybe only have 1 cup of coffee in the morning. Many people report having headaches when they cut back on caffeine. So if you think that may be something that could be a problem for you, just wean yourself off gradually. Don't go cold turkey tomorrow. Maybe just reduce the amount of caffeine that you have just a little bit every couple of days until you get to a point where you feel like hopefully it's not messing with your sleep. Tip number 2 is cutting out sugar at night. According to a study that I read, 100% of people in the study that were on a high sugar intake had sleep problems. Now, I will have that study linked to the notes below if you want to read a little bit more about it. What I have found is if I have a couple of fig Newtons after dinner, when I'm sitting on the couch, relaxing, watching Netflix, that sugar will also mess up my sleep. The sugar affects the insulin in our body. We have that sugar high, but then we crash from the sugar as well. And it's that disruption that apparently can jeopardize our sleep. I learned this firsthand. About 20 years ago, I decided I was going to cut out sugar. Now, just so you know, I have tried to cut out sugar many, many times in my life. But the first time that I really committed to it was about 20 years ago. And I found that for some unknown, unexpected reason, I wasn't waking up in the middle of the night. And so I experimented with it a little bit and tried having more sugar after dinner. And sure enough, those are the nights where I was waking up. When I didn't have sugar, I was not waking up. Today, I'm still always struggling with sugar because I love sweet things. But I have found that those 2 fig Newtons, when I'm sitting on the couch after dinner watching Netflix, those will absolutely interrupt my sleep. So for me today, no sugar at all after dinner. If there's something sweet I want to eat, I do try to have it maybe a little bit earlier in the day, mixed with some protein. And I find that as long as it's not close to bedtime, it typically won't impact my sleep. Tip number 3, and this I suspect is going to be one that a lot of people aren't going to want to hear about, is managing your alcohol intake. I know after a busy day, many people, including me sometimes, like to sit down, pop open a beer, pour yourself a glass of wine, maybe something a little bit stronger, just to help you unwind from the day. What happens though is that 1 drink or 3 drinks absolutely will impact your sleep. Alcohol is a depressant, meaning it may help you go to sleep better or faster. But once your body starts to shift your sleep patterns, most likely you're going to end up waking up. Alcohol is kind of a double whammy because there's the alcohol content. Also, alcohol is sugar. Just like the sugar in those fig Newtons will mess up your sleep that night, the sugar in the alcohol contributes to sleep disruption as well. If you're in the habit of wanting a beer or a glass of wine or something to drink at the ends of your day to help you unwind, see if perhaps you can figure out something different that could serve as a substitute for that relaxation ritual. Yes, I enjoy a glass of wine on many occasions, but I've learned on a regular, normal day of the week, what I try to do is avoid the wine, but I actually will put some frozen blueberries in a wine glass, pop open a can of seltzer water, pour that in. It sparkles, it bubbles, it just kind of makes me feel happy. And for me, it's kind of like a mental shift between the end of my busy day and the start of my wind down for the evening. And for me, I don't want to say it has the same impact as alcohol, but mentally, it seems to fit the trick. So see if there's something like that that might work for you to help with that mental transition as your day shifts. Tip number 4 is about television. There's a lot of information out there about blue light and how bad that is for us. We're supposed to turn off the television or anything else with a screen an hour before bedtime. You may have heard that. You may not have time in your schedule to turn off your television and do nothing for an hour. Maybe you're meditating, supposedly. Maybe that's when you wash your face. Maybe that's when you put the kids to bed or what have you. Personally, I have found that what makes a bigger impact for me than worrying about the blue light is thinking about what is it I'm actually watching on television, or sometimes even what is it that I'm reading. I find that if I'm watching something that's dramatic or exciting or really, really engaging, it feels like all my brain cells are firing. The synapses in my brain, they're all firing. I'm really interested in what's going on. And then if it's time for me to go to bed, if I turn off the television and try to go directly to sleep, my brain is still firing. If that happens to you, you might want to think about shifting your habit. Absolutely, finish whatever show it is that you want to watch, but then maybe spend even just a few minutes watching something that's much more soothing. One of the things that I like to watch are animal shows. Here's something about humpback whales. Here's something about baby elephants. They always have beautiful images. They typically have a really nice, soft spoken narrator. Yes, I know that you probably think some of those animal shows are boring. Folks, that's the whole point. What you want to do is start to downshift your brain so that way your brain does start to relax. That monotonous type voice can really help you in that process. So maybe watch that for a few minutes before going to bed. Or if you do turn off your television and you're finished with Law and Order or with your favorite comedian on Netflix, and you're going in to go brush your teeth, put on your pajamas, get ready for bed, maybe at that point, put on some music that's much more relaxing. Maybe some Enya or listen to some type of meditation tape, guided meditation. You don't even need to sit there with your legs crossed to do the meditation yourself, but sometimes just listening to that peaceful voice can help your brain relax enough to help you go to sleep. Here's tip number 5. And for this one, this may actually be the hardest one for some people to address. Sometimes your sleep problem isn't really your sleep problem. Your sleep problem may be because of the sleep problem of the person that you are sleeping with. So if your partner has problems with snoring or with sleep apnea, which is more and more common as we get older and older, have a gentle conversation with that person if they aren't already aware of that. Encourage that person perhaps to see a doctor. Maybe there is a simple remedy that the doctor can help that particular person with. If that person perhaps has seen a doctor and there's no easy answer, or if that person doesn't want to see a doctor, then there may be some options that you can discuss with your partner as well. One idea that I know some people have expressed that they've had good success with, for snorers at least, is elevating the front part of the bed. There are bed risers that you can buy on Amazon, Walmart. I put links to those in the show notes as well, in the video notes as well. You just elevate the top 2 legs of your bed, just so that way that person's body is tilted just a little bit, so that way they're not 100% flat on their back. That may be something that could be an easy thing for you to try to see if that can help that particular person that you're trying to sleep with all night long, help them sleep all night long so they're not snoring and waking you up. One of the things that my friends tell me is when they talk to their partner about their partner snoring, the partner's like, "Oh, just, elbow me so that way I'll roll over and, and I won't snore anymore." Which is fine, except for if they're snoring to begin with, they're still waking my friend up. According to another study, 1 out of 3 women miss as much as an hour and a half of sleep every single night due to their partner snoring. That is a huge amount of lost sleep. So if that is your situation where your partner does snore or has bad dreams, it's definitely worth having a gentle conversation with that person. Now, if you are the person doing the snoring, be open to having a conversation with your partner about it, because you telling them, just elbow me and I'll roll over, that doesn't solve the actual problem because you've still woken them up. Now they need to try and get themselves back to sleep. You do need to be sure that you're having a conversation with your partner about this with great diplomacy. Sometimes people take great offense to the idea of even they snore at all, or if their partner decides to get up and go into another room or go sleep on the couch, they may take great offense at that. Maybe they get their feelings hurt. Maybe they feel a little bit guilty about disrupting their partner's sleep. Maybe they worry that there's a problem in the relationship if their partner, for some reason, doesn't want to sleep in the same bed with them anymore. So do be sure that you use great tact if you're having this type of conversation. These 5 tips are all things that at different points in my life I have used, and I found that they work for me. The other thing that I do use when I'm snoring, which will frequently happen if I have some nasal congestion or I've been a little bit sick, is I bought one of those bed reading pillows that has the arms in it that you can kind of sit propped up. And what I have been told by the man of my dreams is when I sleep a little bit more upright like that, I don't snore. I know when I sleep using one of those pillows when I'm sick, I definitely feel better the next morning because I'm not flat on my back with all the congestion kind of like piling up in my chest. So I also put a link to that in the video notes. What is it that you've tried? Have you tried any of these 5 that I mentioned, or is there something else that you've tried that works for you? If you've discovered something, please put that information in the comments section to this video, because just like you, I am over 50, and just like you, there are times when I struggle to get a good night's sleep, and I want to learn anything I can from other people who are in the same situation as me. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel and set the alert button to let you know when I've got new videos come out. Here's to you with my bubbly blueberry homemade water, and hoping that you and I both sleep extremely well tonight. Till next time, take care.